Do you feel prospecting is no longer working for you? Maybe you used to prospect and get clients. All of a sudden, you feel like offline prospecting is no longer working. I've tried everything I know to do. What I used to do before that used to work is no longer working for me. I can't seem to find clients. Today, this video is for you. I'm going to show you the hidden path to finding new clients. Beautiful. I'm going to show you some stories on things I've done in the past to get new clients, and you're going to enjoy this video. My name is Iyore. I've trained over 24,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales. I've been featured on a lot of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked at an organization where I was given a target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals in a single month. And I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals in that month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm CEO for UltraVantage, and our specialty is in sales force management, meaning that we work with organizations, with their sales teams, to help them optimize and help them meet their sales targets in record time. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is it's called the hidden path to finding new clients. The hidden path to finding new clients. And it's an amazing thing. Many years ago, I did something. And for me, it was remarkable. In fact, I didn't learn it many years ago. Let me tell you where I learned this concept before I tell you how I applied this in my business. While I was working in an organization then, regional manager reaches out to me and she says, I got a lead. He's a top celebrity or personality in the country. She got the lead directly from the CEO. And because he stayed within our region, she passed it on to the regional manager. And the lady, she favored me. I'll tell you, I've done some videos on things you can do to make yourself the preferred in an organization. So because of that, she gave me the lead. Now she says, she told my direct boss then, my team lead, to go with me for the meeting. On getting there for the meeting, I noticed that my boss could say everything about the man. He was a professor. So she had read his papers. The man was thrilled. He said, sir, I read your papers on... He said, wow, you mean you took time to study that? He was so impressed. I'm sure at some point you've either done it or you've seen cases where you knew a lot about somebody and the person felt, so I'm worthy to be researched. Wow, I'm honored. So when she did that, you could tell that she had developed a soft spot in the man's heart. And ladies and gentlemen, I was the one who was going to managing this man's business. She just came like a supervisory aspect, in a supervisory capacity. So I had a lot of friction when I was running this man's transactions with him. It seemed like when we said things to him, either we didn't communicate clearly, for some reason he just was getting upset with me. And every time I called my supervisor, when she got on the phone with him, he would just calm down immediately. I knew what the problem was. I had messed up. I didn't do my research. Because she had researched him, it was easy for her to engage him. Now, many years after, I get into UltraVantage. I'm running UltraVantage. On a particular year, I noticed, I was looking through our statements. Now, thank God I resigned from where I was working to run this business. The finances were not bad, at least compared to where I was earning like 5 times what I was earning when I was an employee. So I looked at the statement and I was checking everything, and I observed that something shocking. I observed that most of my prospects were coming from offline, not online. I observed that in a whole year, I had only 1 client who came from online. And the person who came from online, the amount of money we even got from that transaction was nothing significant. Most of the prospects were coming from offline engagements, offline prospecting. Maybe when I traveled, I flew business class, I met somebody on the plane, maybe somebody referred me to her husband. That was how most of the transactions were coming. And I also observed that most of the business we were getting were from 2 industries: real estate, insurance. Most of the business were from 2 industries. All the other business from other industries were very little, infinitesimal. So guess what we did? We quickly readjusted our strategy. And this is what is called database prospecting. Database prospecting. You see, I'm not a very data person. I'm not a, some people are data driven. You see them with their glasses, they say, I check the data, I research data. People like maybe like accountants and such people who like to crunch numbers. But my personality, I'm not a data driven or somebody who's excited to dig through data. But when you're looking for prospects and you're trying to find another way to bring in more business, ladies and gentlemen, you go into data driven prospecting. You go into research to see how you can find new opportunities. And one of the most powerful things is data. See, if you ignore the data, you'll be making a big mistake. Because there are things that you can't just pray about certain things. If you pray about certain things, there are things that God by himself will not tell you. Because the data is already there. If you look at the Bible talks about Daniel. The Bible says that Daniel, who prayed a lot, one of the prophets, and he saw a lot of visions. The Bible says, Daniel said, I learned by the books. Meaning, I learned by data that it was time for the children of Israel to be out of bondage. It was not God that told him. So there are specific things that you must do. And part of it is that you must crunch and check the data. And you can see it was not complex. I just looked at the statements, wrote out I didn't even have a software. I looked at the statements, wrote out all the businesses, and looked at the characteristics of the individuals behind these businesses. And I discovered two powerful things. Offline, real estate, insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 3 years, all I did was spend most of my time engaging prospects offline. Most of my time engaging real estate companies and insurance companies. With that, we grew our clientele base as at today to over 30 real estate companies. We grew our clientele base as at today to over 12 insurance companies. Big, solid business. Why? Data-driven prospecting. Now, somebody may say, but Iyore, this is to a business. What about to me personally? Let me tell you to you personally. Imagine if you want to use data-driven prospecting. Check. People who have been buying from you, go and check the records. These people who have been buying, what are the patterns among these people? They say that the skills of the future, the skills that children need to learn in the future is how to identify patterns, recognize them, and how to create them. So check for the patterns. These people have sold, maybe in the last 5 years, for example, or in the last 2 years, you sold 10 plots to 10 different people, just saying, these 10 people, put their names down. What do they have in common? It could be that they most likely come from the same industry. Maybe from the same industry. Maybe they're from the same states. Maybe they live in the same area. Or maybe they're all in the diaspora. Check the things that you have in common and zero in on those things. One of the ways you can multiply your sales, ladies and gentlemen, if you notice that 80%, Pareto principle states that 80% of your results comes from 20% of your inputs. This means that if you look at all the results you have, you'll find out that all the money you have made came from 20% of your customers. Think about it. If you have 10 clients, 2 clients would give you 80% of the money these 10 clients made you. That's what I'm trying to say. The remaining 80% will give you only 20%. What are you supposed to do now? Find out the characteristics of these top people who gave you the most money. Double down. Zero in on them. You find out that your business will grow exponentially. When we did this strategy in our business, by the next year we had doubled revenue. Remember, I told you the first year we were doing like 5 times what we're earning we're doing like 5 times what I used to earn as an employee. When we moved this into the strategy, by the next year we had almost 100% growth in the business. Because we doubled down on what was already working. Look out for the characteristics of those who are buying from you. Many years ago, I have so many stories to tell you. Many years ago, somebody reached out to me. The guy said, I have a product. You spray it on your skin. It repels mosquitoes. And I said, does it smell nice? I can't imagine spraying something strange on my skin. He said, yes, sir, it smells nice. But you know one thing, when somebody has the product and he says it smells nice, of course he will say it smells nice. So I didn't even believe him. But I told him, I said, this is what you're going to do. Have people bought from you? He said, yes, people have been buying. I said, fantastic. If people have been buying, your product is working. It's working. If nobody has bought, it's a different case. But at least if a human being has bought, there are smart people like that person who will be interested and want to buy. So I told him, I said, you know what? The reason people bought from you is more important than the fact that they bought from you. Reach out to those people that bought from you and ask them, please, I'd like to hear from you. Why did you buy this product? What was your reason for buying? And he says, oh, I like the fact that it has this. I like the fact that it has that. Whatever the reasons. I said, write those things down. Use that going forward to engage people. That's part of what we call data-driven prospecting. So I've given you 2 things now. I said, number 1, look out for people who have bought from you in the past. Check the common characteristics. Number 2, look out for the people who are giving the most money right now out of your database or out of the people who have bought from you. Who are the top 20%? Look at their characteristics as well. Well, I've given you 3. Number 3, people who have bought from you in the past, if you find out, especially if you're selling something that you feel is very complex, find out from them why they bought. What are the things that they looked out for that in the product that got their attention to make them buy? You will see that with these things, ladies and gentlemen, you will have a good source of information to practice this thing we call data-driven prospecting. A lady reached out to me. She was doing well in her organization. All of a sudden, she was promoted. Because she was promoted, she stopped doing well. What do I mean? Her target was probably 2 billion. She was about maybe 2.2. They promoted her, they moved her target to 4 billion. She dropped from being over 100% to less than 50% in performance. And she couldn't get herself to move beyond that. Sometimes a coach is necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, please can you click the share button? Share this video right now. Let's some people who you know who may not have practiced this strategy join us so that they can learn how to practice data-driven prospecting to grow their sales. So she reached out to me. I sat with her and I said, can we look through your database? Where do most of your clients come from? These 2 billion you have, which industry is giving the most money? She checked. She found out it was oil and gas. And I said, don't bother yourself with these other industries. Double down. Go and start visiting these existing clients in a systematic order. Create a calendar where you touch base with all these oil and gas clients at least once every month or once a week, depending on how many they were. I don't remember, but I knew we set up a structure for her like that. So maybe like once a month. And she was going there, checking them on a routine basis. And when she was getting in there, ladies and gentlemen, so much was happening. So much was happening. Do you know one of the benefits of practicing this kind of thing is the fact that when you find the data and you decide to focus, you will have similar vocabularies, the things you need to say. You will have the language of that industry or the language of that target audience or the language of that specific group of people that you find out based on their pattern, based on what they have in common. Whether it's industry, whether it's state, whether it's background from diaspora, whatever it is that they have in common, you've identified, like I've explained to you, you will have the language to speak to them. You will be able to tailor the need. See, you'll be able to tailor the solutions to them. There are, have we seen how salespeople do door-to-door prospecting? Door-to-door prospecting. When they practice door-to-door prospecting, what they do is, if they are prospecting a street or an estate, when they get to a particular door, guess what their pitch is like? Because they have used data and they are focused on a particular area, just like how you will use data right now and you'll be able to identify a particular pattern or consistency in the people who have done business with you. When they knock on the door, they'll say, good afternoon, my name is, we just finished doing some work for house 33, house 32, house 31, and house 48. We just thought that we should let you know what we've done for them to see how this would also be of benefit to you. You'll find out that the person will say, okay, I'm eager to hear, what have you done for my neighbors? Just in case I don't want to be left out. So, when you practice data-driven prospecting like this, you'll discover that when you engage a prospect and you say, because you are focused on a particular industry or pattern or thing that brings these people, this thing they have in common together, you say, okay, we've done some work with a lot of existing clients. We've done some work with this. You mention people who are in the same industry or do the same thing or who are like them. If, for example, you're selling to people in diaspora and you say, okay, we just finished selling to, last month, we just sold to 15 people in the diaspora. Specifically, they were from Texas, from Miami, and from Illinois. We just finished selling to them. And these people, this was the project they zeroed in on. So I just want to start with that. Will this project interest you? Because it seems like for some reason they prefer this particular project. The person, you see, you have shortened your sales cycle. You're not going to be talking too long, asking questions for so long, qualifying for so long. You've already shortened it by making the person know that this is what most people are already buying. And it makes it easier for the person to make a decision. It's like when you go to a restaurant and the waiter brings you a menu. Sometimes you go to a restaurant and we're trying to get food to eat. And I can't even imagine, the list is so long. The menu is so long. So many options. All I just do, I just say, okay, what do most people take here? And they say, okay, yes, most people like this, most people like that, most people like this. I'm okay, give me that. You see that? So we, as human beings, we like to make reference to what other people are doing. It helps us, it helps to protect us. It helps us in making decisions faster and helps us solve problems in record time. So ladies and gentlemen, I have my notes here. I didn't even look at my notes at all. But let me just give you a few thoughts from here, then we can close with this. If you want to practice data-driven prospecting, you want to research to be able to find clients or find the next level prospects you need for your business, there are things you can do. First of all, identify your ideal customer profile. What types of individuals or companies are a good fit for your product or service? Check. Number two, look through these companies or these individuals if they have company websites or social media profiles, right? Companies, individuals, social media profiles, companies, websites. Look out for these things. And sometimes, you don't want to go in for a meeting and when you see a prospect, you're intimidated. God told Jeremiah, he told him in the Bible, he says, do not be intimidated by their faces. Even God that created us knows that humans can be intimidated by other people's faces. He said, do not be intimidated by their faces. He said, I am with you. So in the same way, don't be, if you're not careful, you can get in for a meeting with the prospect. And when you see the prospect's face, you feel intimidated. Part of what you can do to resolve that is checking them out on their company website or social media profile. When you see their facial structure and the characteristics of their face, you will just decide and know that it's not too complex. Or if it looks complex to you, you brace up and get ready for it. You also don't want to even go and see, sometimes people go in for a meeting and when they go in, they get to reception. They say, I'm looking for Mr. Jude. Mr. Jude? Mr. Jude who? Mr. Jude Tani. Mr. Jude Tani. Oh, it's like you don't know him. He just passed you. You see? You just missed the prospect. And next thing you say, oh, Mr. Jude is traveling out to the country. But why did you miss him? Because you didn't practice research. You didn't check for the company's website or you didn't check for social media profiles to search the person's name out. So, data-driven prospecting, research, I'm referring to the same thing. Look at industry reports and research studies. That's number 3. Number 4, check out the person's LinkedIn and other professional networks. Next point, look at CRM data, customer relationship management data, and sales intelligence tools. I like this part. Look for trigger events like funding announcements, new product launches, or changes in leadership. I used to have a sales guy who, when we were trying to prospect a particular person, every salesperson from time to time, you need to have what we call 2 types of prospects: small fish, big fish. Small fish, no, I don't mean the person is small. I just mean, sometimes when you want to have them in 2 categories, right? Whether category 1 or category 2 or small fish, big fish. I prefer small fish, big fish so I can pass my points across. Small fish should just refer to everyday prospects you meet via cold calling, random referrals, every other way. Big fish refers to prominent figures in the society, prominent individuals who you know that if you get this person, you'll get some significant business. And from time to time, you need to have these people on a list, and so that they will be on your radar. Then, all of a sudden, you come across them. I'll give you an example. One of our sales guys, he had the list of, we're trying to get into the IT space then. So he came up with a list of top IT MDs, and every day we're going to online, we're researching, while of course you come across information every day. On one day he realized, came from the papers, we discovered that on business day, this man was going to be at an event at a hotel. He was going to be on the panel at a hotel, an event. This was how we got to meet him. So of course, all our guys, they dress properly, 3-piece suits, like I'm dressed now. He goes into a hotel. When the guy was done with his speech, as he was leaving the stage, he was walking towards the stage. The ushers or security protocol, they didn't even stop him because he was so well dressed. So they thought, maybe he's actually his personal PA. So they let him pass, and he walked straight, met the man as he came off the stage. They exchanged cards, and the man said, okay, that's fine. Send this to me directly. Send the proposal to me directly. Let's take it up in my office. So you see how we're able to penetrate and meet this person, because we had looked for trigger events, funding announcements, new product launches or changes in leadership, things like this, to be able to step in and get the opportunity. So use this information to tailor your approach to each company and decision maker. And this would help you do a lot better in your data-driven prospecting, in your research, so that you can be able to find hidden paths to getting new clients. All right, so please don't forget to continuously monitor and analyze your prospecting efforts, right? Continuously monitor and analyze these things. From time to time, check it. I do mine every year. At the end of the year, I just check what we've done. How is the market responding to us differently? What I think we need to do differently? And that's part of what has even informed us to come on YouTube like this every day. Be able to see how we can serve more people, because you see, the more you serve people, Jesus said, the greatest of all will be those who serve the most. So I hope I've served you today. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you. Please remember to like this video. Please remember to share this video with others. If you haven't subscribed, please remember to subscribe.